Hi, Rick Wells here. I got a few things to say about this Paris. It's not even about Paris. It's about the response to what happened by the sappy, sweet. Well, we're just. What are we gonna do? We're just here. We're stuck with it. It's a modern reality kind of nonsense drivel that's coming out of the mouths of these people on Fox News and everywhere else. The political correctness, I almost hate using that term because it's politically it's incorrect. It's stupid. We call it political stupidity. That all these that's drilled into our heads all the time by these idiots that we turn on, that we invite into our houses to tell us what's going on. Well, we know what's going on, and what they do is they turn around and tell us what's not going on and pretend it's what's going on. So about this Paris attack, the tone needs to change. The tone needs to change. People need to understand that this was not inevitable. This didn't have to happen. They're still doing their investigation, but one of them came in through Greece 6 weeks ago. Another one was in Brussels a week or whatever. It doesn't matter how long ago he was there. The elimination of borders in the EU caused this. The invasion from Muslim countries caused this. The idiots, the criminal idiots, they're not idiots, the devious criminals who run that government, the EU, the various nation governments in Europe, and ours as well, are responsible for what happened. They created it. They made it happen. They enabled it. They are responsible. I saw, I'll read this quote. This was on Fox, one of their reporters. Described the perpetrators, the terrorists, as violent nihilists, or nihilists, however the heck you say it, who aren't representative of a religion, but are vile murderers. Okay, let's call it like it is. They're vile murderers who are representative of a religion. Bingo. Okay, you had all the parts there. You screwed it all up because it didn't fit your narrative. They're vile, murdering pieces of trash, pigs, little pigs, piggy pigs, and they happen to represent a religion in a very bad way. Okay, if some people don't think it's a religion, that's fine. For lack of a better term, that's one I'll use. That's who they are. Don't tell me they're not. That's who they are. I got notes here because I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget anything. You got John Kerry in the. Oh, you got another guy. Another guy I saw on there. He says this is inevitable. Well, it's only inevitable because the circumstances were put into place to make it inevitable. If you didn't have a flood of people coming in, both to their country and to ours, or to their continent and ours, it's not inevitable. But if you put those pieces in place, then yes, it's inevitable. You have created an inevitability. And now, to John Kerry. I saw John Kerry, he's in some preparation, playing Mr. Important at the G20. Talking, how they're going to stand with France and all this. Enough of the standing. What they're doing is standing around. What all of this is, we're in solidarity we stand with a bull crap. You're standing and waiting for time to pass. You're standing around doing nothing with your hands in your pockets, or in our pockets, doing nothing, letting time pass so that you can finish the job. Your job is to take over our country. Your job is to turn the United States into a friggin' communist country, Mr. John Kerry, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, and Mr. J. Johnson, Jihadi J. Johnson. Your job is to destroy America, and that's what you're doing. And we all know it. Don't tell me you stand with France. You stand around and do nothing. That's what you do. Standing means nothing. I did a video yesterday on the response from Hussein Obama when Charlie Hebdo got that last massacre, and you could have replaced this one with that one or vice versa. It was the same line of crap. All it is we don't want to blame the Islamists, we don't want to offend anybody, and we don't want to do anything. So anyway, the people pulling the triggers And the people wearing the bombs and the people who are enabling them are all responsible for this. And another little angle on this, these families who, you know, and I'm sensitive to the families, naturally. We all are. They're victims. It could have been any one of us. They're the same as the families that are victims of Johnson, Kerry, well, specifically Johnson and Obama's border policies, where innocent family members have to deal with their loved one being killed by a illegal alien that shouldn't have been here. It happened because John J. Johnson and Hussein Obama let it happen, created a situation where it was guaranteed to happen. Guaranteed to happen. Johnson and Obama guarantee it will happen, it does happen, and it will continue to happen by having open borders. There's no denying it. There's no denying it. If those individuals were not in the United States, it wouldn't happen. The same exact thing is happening in the process, being constructed by those same government criminals with these refugees. But I add John Kerry into the mix because he's the one bringing all the refugees, as we call them, as they don't like saying, prospective terrorists, terrorist trainees, future jihadis or whatever. They don't want to call them that. They call them refugees because otherwise they never get them into the country. So you got those clowns, the exact same situation of what is happening with these poor families that are victims of Mexican murdering and MS-13 Salvadoran murdering and all these other trash that the trash in D.C. is bringing in, and the illegal alien in the White House is bringing in his comrades, the other illegals. All of this trash that's coming in is going to be joined by Islamic trash. Wonderful. That's just what we need. That's just what a free friggin' country needs, to stay free, right? And then you can tighten us down because, hey, in the interest of safety, in the interest of security, you're going to have to give up some of your freedom, boys. You just have to, because otherwise you're going to be dead. All right, let me check my notes here again. See if I miss anything. All right, so then I got a couple little video clips here to accent my points, because I don't think a lot of Americans don't realize they think that our government is protecting us. Baloney, our government is targeting us. These friggin' people from every Islamic country that are being defined as Syrian refugees can't be vetted. The FBI Assistant Director for Counterintelligence, Michael Steinbach, said in February that they can't be vetted. The systems are in place, but guess what? There's no information to fill into the systems. The databases exist. I mean, the database structure exists, but there's no data for it because we don't have a presence on the ground and there's no Syrian government. Okay, that's what Michael Steinbach said. And I'm going to play that for you right here. So here's Michael Steinbach. He's the Assistant Director FBI for Counterintelligence. And he was testifying in a House committee back in February as to our capabilities for vetting these Syrians.
So I didn't say we didn't have a process in place. I said that there's a lack of databases. So we learned our lessons with the Iraqi refugee population. We put in place a USIC-wide background and vetting process that we found to be effective. The difference is in Iraq, we were there on the ground collecting, so we had databases to use. The concern is in Syria, the lack of our footprint on the ground in Syria, that the databases won't have the information we need. So it's not that we have a lack of process, it's there's a lack of information.
And is there ways that you could suggest we go about trying to get this information?
I just don't think you can go and get it. You're talking about a country that's a failed state, that does not have any infrastructure, so to speak. So all the data sets, the police, the intel services that would normally go and seek that information don't exist.
And that obviously raises a grave concern as to being able to do proper background checks of the individuals coming into the country.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So there. He's admitting there's nowhere to check. We can check everything that's there, but there's nothing there. Okay, so that's one. That's one. And I got another little. This is even more brief. This is the communist that's in the White House from his infamous victory lap with George Stephanopoulos when he got Osama bin Laden Jr., Jihadi John, and wanted to make us think that he was the big man, the tough guy on terror, on the very terrorism that he's enabling. When he admitted the same thing in trying to justify why this is the only thing he's accomplished, why ISIS is running roughshod over the United States and spreading like a cancer across the world. He got one guy, so he's on top of it. And this was probably something he would have rather not admitted to, but he was so, his ego's got to be stroked.
Because the government structures in the Sunni areas of Iraq.
Hang on, it didn't come up big. What's going on here? There we go. All right, let's try that again.
The government structures in the Sunni areas of Iraq are weak, and there are none in Syria. And we don't have ground forces there in sufficient numbers to simply march into al-Raqqa and Syria.
So, we don't have ground forces to get the information that Michael Steinbach said. We don't have the ground forces to get the information. And he just admitted that because there's no government, there's no source of information. Or that he admitted, for a different reason, that there's no government, which means there's no source of information. And then on another point here, our DHS secretary, the guy that is in charge of flooding America with every type of person, as long as they're non-white, a drain on society, even then they don't have to necessarily be a drain on society, it's just an enhancement, like an extra benefit. But they have to be non-white. They are preferably a drain on society. And if they're a terrorist, then they're definitely on the list of must-haves. So here's Jay Johnson, Jihadi Johnson, admitting that we can't vet these guys, but it's important to get them in here anyway, even if they are terrorists.
We have committed to resettling 10,000 Syrian refugees in fiscal year 16, and we're looking at more for fiscal year 17. By the end of 15, we will have resettled approximately 2,000. So we want to do more. We believe we need to do more. I'm committed to doing that and ensuring that those who are resettled are vetted properly.
Now, how, in light of what the other two videos, and there's a lot more, how is he going to make sure that they're vetted properly? He's about to admit he can't.
The appropriate security review. That means dedicating the resources to this increasing number of refugees, and making sure that they are vetted against all the right databases that we have for that security review. We've gotten better at that.
Right, all the right databases that we have. We don't have any, so there are none to vet them against. But to the extent that they exist, we'll check them. And hey, if there's no negatives on there, then they must be good.
Over the last couple of years, but it is a time-consuming process, and one of the challenges we will have is that we're not going to know a whole lot.
We're not going to know a whole lot
about the individual refugees that come forward from the UN High Commission on Refugees for resettlement and vetting. So it will be a challenge, but we are committed to doing it.
It will be a challenge, or in other words, they can't do it, and they're committed to doing it. So even though they're going to be terrorists in there, they're going ahead with it because it's part of the agenda. It's the plan. It's the plan. We got to get all these non-white people in here. Terrorists, well, okay. Criminals, well, okay. But they got to come because it's their responsibility. It's the humane thing. It's the right thing to do.
It is meeting our international commitment, but also for the sake of our homeland security, ensuring that they get the right security review. So I'm committed to both.
He's committed to both. both. He should be committed to an institution is what he should be committed to. All three of them should be committed to an institution, penitentiary. So anyway, in closing out this thing here, the threat exists. The threat is real, and the significant threat, if we don't act now, we're not going to be able to act. This is crunch time, folks. This is crunch time. We have to do something now before it's too late. Okay, these guys, we got another year of these idiots in there. They're not idiots, of these criminals in there, and that'll be too late. If we ride this out and figure, well, we can make it until, it's going to be tough. There's going to be a huge amount of damage done. But what are the choice? Congress won't impeach because Congress is gutless. Congress is the most vile, disgusting. Congress ain't going to do anything because they're in on it. They don't care. They're in on it. They're trash. They're for the most part nothing, good for nothing. So we have to do it ourselves. How that happens, I don't have any idea, but we're going to have to do it. The alternative will be accepting that just what happened in Paris, it's going to happen here, and it's going to happen with frequency, regularity. We're going to be dealing with armed terrorists in our midst. We're going to be at war. We're going to be in civil war. And they got the Black Lives Matter crap and the campus crap and all this other stuff going along just to stir the pot a little bit more. So you're going to have black thug groups, you're going to have Latino gang groups, you're going to have terrorist groups, and you're going to have white groups. Everybody fighting each other, all because Hussein Obama, John Kerry, and Jihadi J. Johnson have decided that they want to fundamentally change America into a Marxist, communist society. That's what's going on here. That's why this is happening, and it's got to stop. And we, the people, are the ones to stop it. These criminals are not going to stop themselves. Are cowardly, complicit, coerced, paid off, good for friggin' nothing, with the exception of Jeff Sessions and a couple others. Congress is not going to help us. They're not going to do anything. It's up to us. And impeachment is the responsibility of Congress. So that means impeachment's off the table. Impeachment can't happen because the only ones that do it, they found the weakness in our Constitution. The hole in our Constitution was the Founding Fathers never dreamed that we would have 533 or 2 or whatever representatives in supposedly the people's representatives who have turned against us, who have betrayed their country, who have sold us out, who are on the take, whatever reason, they have been compromised. Never entered in, who in their wildest dreams would have imagined that level of corruption. But that's what we got. It's up to us. It's up to the American people. How we do it, I don't know. I hope there's some people out there with some better ideas or some suggestions or a means to make this happen. These 3 individuals need to go to prison. They need to go to prison now. They need to be arrested. Hussein Obama, the foreign subversive that's occupying our White House, even if he were an American, he's committed crimes against this country that he needs to be arrested for now. John Kerry, traitor Swiftboat John, and Jihadi J. Johnson, the one who's single-handedly undermined and done away with our immigration law by virtue of writing a stinking memorandum. Are we just sheep, stupid, idiot people here that will let all this go on and not stand up to it? They need to be arrested. It's got to stop. We don't have the luxury of time. Sheriffs of America, whoever, somebody, we got to get busy on this.